been a while. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another Inside the Lines episode. My name is Jet. Hope y'all are having a wonderful Friday afternoon. When was the last time that I did an Inside the Lines? I think it was maybe October? I don't know. It's been a while, but I am back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple stories to talk about here, and a big story revolving 2022 and NASCAR, them returning to practice and qualifying. But before we get into it, just want to let y'all know that right now, from today till the 21st, there is a 30% off of G Fuel, all G Fuel products. If you use the code RGN at checkout, again, you'll get 30% off of all G Fuel products right now until the 21st. And make sure you grab your tub, your packets, cup, whatever the case may be. Again, code RGN, 30% off at checkout from here until the 21st. All right, enough with the plug. Let's jump into with our stories. The first one revolves an update that we talked about months earlier, and that was a proposed change or proposed budget plan for 2021 and 2022 in the state of North Carolina. And the proposition was that money will be given out to all racetracks in North Carolina. But the two racetracks that we are all focused on is Rockingham Speedway and North Carolina Speedway. Okay, so back in May, Governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, and state officials were discussing their plans for allocating federal funds from President Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan on Wednesday afternoon, on May 19th. Well, now we have an update on that situation that says, according to their state budget, to North Carolina's 2021 and 22 state budget, $40 million will be allocated towards racetracks at like Rockingham Speedway, North Wilkesboro Speedway, and Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's first start off with Rockingham. Rockingham will get $9 million through Richmond County for water and sewer and other infrastructure projects. Now, what's unclear is if this innovation or the money will be given to either A, bring back up the racetrack back to, at least not look like it's been left for dead for a long amount of time, or if it's for more the Rockingham Entertainment Complex. Because if you don't remember, a few years before that, there was a report that came out that said that Rockingham Speedway is going through a renovation project into not much about racing, but more about for things like festivals, concerts, and things like that, to be more open as a place where fans can come to outside of just racing. But still, it looks like Rockingham Speedway will be coming back to life in a sense that it won't look like I said, it's been left for dead for some amount of time, and they're going to start putting some money, again, like I said, with the water, sewer, and infrastructure projects to bring it back up to date, which is really good news. The state of Concord and Charlotte Motor Speedway will get $13 million for similar projects related to water and sewer and related infrastructure projects. Again, that goes to Charlotte Motor Speedway and the city of Concord. Now, the last one. This was a neat little nugget, and I think it might lead to a good discussion about the future of a very popular racetrack. Of course, we're talking about North Wilkesboro Speedway. And that was this last little part, I'm going to read it here, that says that part of the rescue plan for North Carolina was that for motorsport venues that had been presently sanctioned by NASCAR, the NHRA, and the IHRA, which is another drag racing series, and that have ran a Cup Series race since September 29th, 1996, will be eligible for $5 million grants. Why is that important? Because North Wilkesboro Speedway, the last time they held a Cup Series race was, you guessed it, September 29th, 1996, won by Jeff Gordon. And Wilkesboro County, Wilkes County, they will get $18 million to coordinate with local government units for water and sewer and other infrastructure projects towards North Wilkesboro. The fact that they said that the earliest that anyone will be eligible for grants is the last day that North Wilkesboro held a NASCAR Cup race, pretty specific, and it makes me further believe that something could be done to bring North Wilkesboro back to life and to have racing back at that speedway and in the county of Wilkes. Again, I absolutely love it, especially for Rockingham and North Wilkesboro. With Charlotte, they're having races, but I would love to see Rockingham Speedway and North Wilkesboro come back to life. Even with Rockingham, even if Rockingham doesn't come back as a racetrack, just to be able to be used, other than a place just left to rot. I don't like to see racetracks being left to rot. Either use it for, like I said, for concerts, festivals, or whatever, but just find a way to keep it, to keep it afloat. So I really like to see that Rockingham and North Wilkesboro will be getting some funding to those racetracks to find a way to see what their future looks like. It's going to be a lot more clear now with, $9 million going to Rockingham and $18 million going to North Wilkesboro. The future of those two racetracks are looking really, really good. All right, and now let's talk about our main story. The reason why some of y'all are even here or probably skipped to this part, qualifying and practice. Now, this effect went away right before or as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic when NASCAR came back. For the remainder of 2020, there was no practice or qualifying. For 2021, I think 5 races had practice and qualifying. The Daytona 500, Nashville, I believe, Indy Road Course, I think, Bristol Dirt, and the Phoenix Championship race. I think there might be one more, and Road America. But that was it, I think. I could be wrong, but yeah, it was really only the Daytona 500, the championship race, and all new racetracks for the series. That was it. Well, 2022, we're going to get qualifying. That is confirmed. We're going to get qualifying every single week, but practice, we're going to get some of practice, but it will come back across all 3 of NASCAR's top divisions. Scott Miller, NASCAR's Senior Vice President of Competition, commented on NASCAR's new revised race weekend format. He said, quote, "NASCAR is excited to return practice and qualifying to its race weekends. We miss seeing cars and trucks on track all weekend long, and so did our fans. We work closely with our broadcast partners, teams, and racetracks to create an exciting, unique qualifying format while keeping several of the efficiencies that helped our entire industry successfully navigate the pandemic." Now, before we show qualifying, we have to understand the goal of qualifying. The goal for qualifying with this unique format is to keep it short, under 2 hours. The 2-hour window will allow broadcast partners to ample time and ability to cover the entire field, bringing in wide-ranging, in-depth stories and insight to millions of NASCAR fans each and every single weekend. Obviously, I'm just reading the press release. I don't think they're going to do that, but regardless, it will be interesting because not only that, we have a unique qualifying format, we also have a unique practice format. So 6 Cup weekends, 5 Xfinity weekends, and 8 Truck Series weekends will have an expanded practice format. So what that is that for those weekends that I just mentioned, they will each have a standalone 50-minute practice session as well as following the qualifying event. Reason why is because of this. Let's take a look at each and every single format across all 3 divisions because there are 4 different ones. There are 4 different ones for Cup and Trucks and 3 different qualifying formats for Xfinity. Let's start off, of course, with the Cup Series. For the ovals, it's going to be separated into 2 groups, Group A and Group B. How they set those groups is based on an odd or even finishing order from the previous race. So let's say, for example, you finished 3rd last weekend at Daytona. Well, for next weekend, you'll be in Group A. And if you finish 4th at Daytona, you'll be in Group B. I'm just throwing out different numbers. Prior to that qualifying session, you will have a 15-minute practice session, a warm-up. That's it. Just 15 minutes of practice, and then after that, we jump right into qualifying. Like I said, the groups will be split into 2. Each group will be single car qualifying and will have 1 lap. The top 5 of each group will transfer to the final round. Those 10 drivers, again, single car qualifying and 1 lap. The fastest qualifier will win the pole. Now that's for the ovals, except for Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, and Dover. They will have 2 laps instead of 1 lap. Then next up is the Super Speedways. The Super Speedways is pretty cut and dry. It's the same format that we've done for years now, even I think as far back as 2016. 2 rounds, all right? Round 1, all cars, single car qualifying, 1 lap. Top 10 advances to the final round. Same process, single cars, 1 lap, fastest wins pole. But the interesting part about that is for Super Speedways, except for the Daytona 500, no practice. So the August Daytona race and both Talladega races will feature no practice. Now to the road courses. The road courses is a bit similar but different to the oval format. 20-minute practice session this time instead of 15. Again, we split the groups into 2, Group A, Group B. But instead of having single car qualifying in 1 lap, each group will have a 15-minute practice session or a 15-minute qualifying session. And then whoever's the fastest, the top 5 drivers at the end of each group, at the end of those 15 minutes, will go on to the final round. Those 10 drivers will all be on the racetrack for 10 minutes. Whoever's the fastest wins pole. And then for Bristol Dirt, 2 50-minute practice sessions. And then for qualifying, we'll have 4 heat races or 4 qualifying races. to determine the starting lineup for Sunday's race. The lineup for the qualifying races will be based on a random draw. And for the extended practice weekends that feature a 15-minute practice session will be the Daytona 500, the first Atlanta race, Bristol Dirt, Gateway, Nashville, and the championship race at Phoenix. For the Xfinity Oval's 20-minute practice session for all cars, and then you follow that up with single car qualifying, all cars, 1 lap. There you go, that's it. Except for Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, and Dover, they got 2 laps. Super Speedway, same thing as the Cup Series. Again, all cars, single car, 1 lap, top 10 transfer to the final round, and then final round, top 10 fight for pole, single car qualifying, 1 lap. Road courses, same thing as the Cup Series, and for the extended practice sessions, the first Daytona race, the first Atlanta race, Portland, Nashville, and the championship Phoenix race. For Truck Series, same thing as Xfinity, 20 minutes for trucks, all trucks, single truck, 1 lap for the ovals except for Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, and Dover. Super Speedways is the same thing. Road courses is the same thing. And for the Bristol Dirt and Knoxville will be the same format as the Cup Series. And for extended practice weekends will basically be all the tracks that are either new or reconfigured. So Daytona, Atlanta, Bristol Dirt, Knoxville, Sonoma, Mid-Ohio, Nashville, and the second Phoenix race. Okay. So, typical NASCAR fashion, unnecessarily complicated. Alright, so, and when I say complicated, it's, when you break it down, it's not really that complicated, but it's unnecessary. I understand they're trying to go for a more condensed qualifying format, mainly because of TV, which fine, fair enough. But number one, 15 minutes of practice? That's nothing! Well, basically what they're trying to do is a 15-minute warm-up. It's a warm-up. It's not a practice session. It's a warm-up to practice for qualifying because practice will be right before qualifying. So it's a 15-minute warm-up. But, man, 15 minutes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's way too short a time. I think what NASCAR is trying to do is that by giving teams less time to practice, meaning that when it comes to race time, you know, their cars are still not as dialed up, which means maybe more comers and goers. I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't know. But I just think that's unnecessary. I just don't think it's necessary. What I would do is simply put, the super speedways, no problem. You know, that's completely fine. But again, why not just have for the ovals just 1 lap single car? Why like all cars want to do that for Xfinity and trucks? All cars, single car qualifying, 1 lap. What's the point of having Group A, Group B, and then advance to the final round? I don't understand the point of that. I think it's completely unnecessary. Just have all cars, 1 lap, 1 qualifying, boom, done. That's it. Sorry, that was my phone that went off. But that's it. I don't understand the Group A, Group B. Like, if it was like for the road courses, if it was like a group qualifying, like knockout qualifying, then yeah, I completely understand breaking up into 2 groups. But you're not. So I don't know. I don't get it. Now, for those you're wondering that, well, why don't they do it like the road courses? Because the road courses have a 15-minute time session. Why don't the ovals have the same thing? Do you want a reoccurrence of Fontana 2019? Because I don't. I don't want that. That's number one. Number two, for example, like on the short tracks like Bristol, Martinsville, and Richmond, because the track is so small and you have all the cars out there on the racetrack, it could cause for some jam, like for some chaos, and cause, you know, cars to maybe, you know, move up in front of someone, take their line away, and mess up their lap time. Like what we saw at Bristol, I think in 2018 with Jimmy Johnson and Bubba Wallace. I remember an incident between those 2 drivers where they had, you know, because there's so many cars on the racetrack, I think Johnson's time got messed up by Bubba or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it's, I can't say I like it. I know I posted on Twitter saying I liked it, but now that I'm looking at it again, it's just unnecessary. Just simplify it. Just take, you know, just do 1 lap, all cars, single car qualifying, 1 lap, done. That's it. What's the point of having these Group A, Group B stuff? If you're going to have knockout qualifying, then have knockout qualifying. If you're not, then don't do it. Don't just do what they do with the super speedways, or even the super speedways, just do 1 round. I don't understand the point of this. You know, but typical NASCAR, make things unnecessarily complicated. Bristol Dirt, I mean, I'm completely fine with the Bristol Dirt qualifying format, with the heat races and 2 50-minute practice sessions. I'm completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with the road courses and the super speedway. It's the ovals that I don't get. I'm fine with super speedway format. I'm fine with the dirt format. I'm fine with the road course format. I don't get the oval format. All right, just get rid of, if you're going to do knockout qualifying, do it, you go all the way, like what they're doing with the road courses. If you're not going to go all the way with knockout qualifying, then don't have it in the first place. Just do all cars, 1 lap. That's it. Just copy Xfinity and Trucks. Why the Cup Series has a format of their own, but Xfinity and Trucks, they all got the same formats. Why Cup Series has their simple little own format, I don't understand. I mean, I'm happy with Xfinity and Trucks' qualifying format. I like that. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I'm not okay with the Cup and the oval format. The part that also kind of surprising is the fact that for Xfinity and Trucks, they did go with all car, single car qualifying. I thought because, for example, with the Xfinity series, they actually have high horsepower, low downforce, so they don't need the draft. They don't need to draft off each other. Like what the Cup Series needs to do. So I don't understand why for Xfinity at Kansas, why not have a road course format and have Group A, Group B qualifying practice session go out there. Why for Xfinity and Trucks have single car qualifying 1 lap? I don't know. It's. I think Ryan McGee said it. Why is this? It's always so complicated, and that's the thing. I think. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that qualifying's back, and I'm happy that practice is back. But again, I think this is quintessential NASCAR. They take what we want. They say, hey, we're bringing back practice and qualifying, but then they skew it in a way that just leaves your head scratching. I'm happy that practice and qualifying is back. That's why I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But more than likely, the race weekend format will be practice and qualifying Saturday, Cup on Sunday. Friday, I think Friday will have some form of practice sessions. Let's say if the Xfinity and Cups are racing the same weekend, then probably Friday, will be practice and qualifying, and Saturday the race, and then maybe something like that. I think we're going to go back to a 3-day weekend format, if there is more than one series at the racetrack. But if it's a standalone race, then just Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, I'm really, really intrigued to know, what do you guys think of this qualifying format? I'm on the fence. There are some things that I like about it. Then there are some things I don't like about it. So yeah, but overall, that is going to conclude this episode of Inside Lines. What are your thoughts on any of the 2 stories I talked about in this video? I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen with North Wilkesboro, because with Marcus Smith, he said that their goal, Speedway Motorsports' goal, is to modernize North Wilkesboro Speedway so that it can host racing and special events again. That is really good news. That shows that Marcus Smith and SMI, they're going off the deep end. They're going everything. They're putting all their chips onto the table to try and get North Wilkesboro back to its glory days. And I absolutely love that. Also, can we do the same thing for Rockingham? But yeah, I think, like I said earlier in the episode, I think the future is extremely bright for Rockingham and North Wilkesboro, because we haven't seen this much good news for any of those 2 racetracks in forever. I think with North Wilkesboro, since maybe the mid-2010s when they had some late model races there. Rockingham when they had some truck races there in the early 2010s. But since then, we heard nothing from them. It's just been, sitting there, left to rot. And now we even got Marcus Lemonis, with Camping World. He even put out a tweet saying, how does Camping World Speedway? It's got a nice ring to it. So even he's jumping on board. And you have a big time sponsor like Camping World jumping on board to help bring North Wilkesboro back to life. You have Marcus Smith and SMI also jumping in on board to bring, to modernize the Speedway. And with the money now, the $18 million that North Wilkesboro will be getting, or at least that Wilkes County will be getting, going to the racetrack, a lot of good things are stacking up for North Wilkesboro Speedway and for Rockingham. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to see what takes place in the short term. Probably nothing's going to happen. Nothing big will happen maybe in early 2022. But, maybe by the end of next year, who knows? I mean, hell, maybe in 2024, Rockingham comes back and North Wilkesboro comes back to NASCAR. Who knows? Anything can happen at this point. But That is it for this episode of Inside Lines. Again, like I said, what are your thoughts on any of the two stories I talked about in this video? Don't forget, of course, leave a like and subscribe for more content. Again, one last time, from the 19th to 21st, use code RGN on checkout for 30% off your next G Fuel purchase on tubs, cups, anything, whatever the case may be. Code RGN at checkout, 30% off from the 19th to the 21st. But that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching. My name is Jet from MDK. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all next time.
I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life.